Hey guys, today we're going to be checking out a trailer to a film coming out in May called Tarot. It is directed by Spencer Cohen and Anna Hallberg. Now, Spencer Cohen wrote the script for Moonfall, which if you haven't seen that, you'll see why there are a million reaction videos out there on YouTube. Not the best film ever produced, but the writing was pretty solid, and they made Halle Berry the director of NASA, so, you know, it wasn't all bad. He also directed a horror film called Blink, which I actually haven't seen yet, but the trailer looks pretty interesting, so I added that to my list to check out. And Anna Hallberg co-wrote that Blink film with him, so the pair have worked together before. So I'm pretty curious to see what they come up with this film. It's very fitting that this is my first film trailer-related video because this perfectly encompasses what I want to do on this channel, which is combining my love of horror with my love of all things magical and witchy. I am pretty comfortable using the term tarot expert to describe myself. I've been studying, using, and learning about the tarot for nearly 25 years now. I've read in shops all over the DC metro region. I've taught classes on it all over the country, and I've done digital lectures and trainings on it all over the world, which is the big reason why this movie piqued my interest. So without further ado, let's hit play. I love the art of this deck. Ooh! Who is that?
12 cards in a circle. One more of the heart.
We love an incantation.
Your reading will start.
I might actually use that in my readings.
This old deck's kind of strange.
Where did you find them?
It's an unspoken rule not to use somebody else's cards.
Who cares?
Ooh, not a thing.
Who's going first?
We'll touch on that, though.
Follow one rule. Stay out of danger.
Hello?
You're never to deal with a deck that is strong.
It's giving Hereditary. It's giving... Ah! Ooh, what a way to go. It's very Final Destination.
Magician. Whose face will you see?
That must be the Fool. That's giving Bird Box. All right. So the Hanged Man might be the big bad. Ooh. Okay, so initial thoughts are this is really feeling like Talk to Me, maybe combined with Ouija Origin of Evil. I love both of those worlds, those franchises, so I'm not really surprised to see that something like this is coming out. Those kind of back to basics, object-based horror films have kind of seen a bit of a resurgence lately. You know, the idea of a haunted or cursed tarot deck is pretty interesting to me, mostly because I think the idea of the Ouija board being this iconic portal gateway to all evil is just so overused, so overdone in the horror world. You know,
just because The Exorcist did it doesn't mean we need a million movies about that for the next 100 years.
So the idea of switching to tarot for that is pretty interesting to me. In my defense of Ouija boards and spirit boards, I often say, you know, it's just a neutral divination tool. There's nothing inherently more dangerous about Ouija boards than there are tarot decks or pendulums. But now that this movie's coming out into the world, my point will be a little moot there with other forms of divination. So what's going to come next? A possessed pendulum or dowsing rod? Who knows? I really like the imagery of the characters, who I guess are like the spirits or the monsters of the cards. That seems to be pretty well done. We don't really get a good look at all of them. I can't imagine they're going to do images from, all of the cards in a whole, traditional deck. But I do hope we get to see most, if not all, of the major arcana. That would be pretty cool. Mostly my big hope is that the takeaway from this film isn't that, tarot is a portal to evil, just like the Ouija board is. I'm hoping that it's kind of just this one particular deck. That's the impression that I'm getting from the trailer, but I could totally be wrong. Now, like I mentioned, I did want to touch on the premise of it being unlucky or cursed to use someone else's deck for a reading.
It's an unspoken rule not to use somebody else's cards.
Who cares?
It seems like that might have something to do with the basis of the film based on the trailer. The actual folklore around that is that you're not supposed to buy yourself your first deck, not necessarily that you don't ever use someone else's. And even that lore around not being able to buy your first deck for yourself, as far as I know, no one's really been able to pinpoint the origin of where that comes from. It's definitely a very modern thing. I haven't seen any book or resource talking about that little myth older than probably 30 years. And anyone familiar with the tarot knows that it's significantly older than that and hasn't really come up in any older traditional tarot book. So first of all, I should say that whole concept is a total myth, but this is a movie, so it's totally fine to use that concept as a plot device. I'm really interested in the whole group dynamics aspect of the film. Based on the trailer, it looks like it's kind of like a collective of teens who are trying out this deck. That looks very similar to Talk to Me, which I actually loved. I have my own critiques about Talk to Me. I felt like it could have been a lot longer. I felt like it wasn't fully satisfying towards the end, but overall still a super fun movie. I think that if tarot ends up getting to the kind of places that Talk to Me ended up getting in, it'll still make for a really good, solid movie. Ooh, wouldn't it be interesting if the universes for tarot and Talk to Me were the same? Possibly the same universes as Ouija and Ouija Origin of Evil. Overall, I think this movie could be really fun. You're probably going to see other reactions or commentary from tarot people and pagans and witches out there, all up in arms about how
This movie is just gonna contribute to misunderstandings about the occult.
I'm not one of those people. Obviously, I have a channel focused on blending horror and the occult, so that's not really a concern of mine. My concern is the movie going to be good? Is it just going to be a rote recreation of similar things in the past? The duo that's directing this has kind of a promising early career going, so we'll have to find out and see in May. Let me know what you thought of this trailer in the comments, and let me know if there's anything else you're interested in reviewing on the channel in the future. Thanks for stopping by, and make it weird.